What's cracking?
All right, welcome. Another episode, Sports on Tap podcast. This is the eighth episode, seventh with NRL, and another round of footy done and dusted. We've completed the first 5 weeks of footy, and we've had another great weekend of footy. Couple of surprises, some you could say upsets, um, but these games this week are absolutely unreal. Um, a lot of news as well to come out of this week too, so we'll jump straight into it. Thursday night, it was a great way to start things off. Storm 34, Broncos 32. Um, Broncos they did have it
Mm.
to be honest, but I mean they were up 24-16 through a crazy Ezra man try. But then the Storm they do what they do best. They just always find a way to win. You can't when you're versus Storm,
Yeah.
you always count on them to somehow win, and they
Honestly, if Adam
proved that again.
Reynolds was managed to stay on, I probably would have had I think Broncos would have won it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, poor Renault out once again. Pretty sure it was a low grade hamstring,
Mm.
confirmed. So unlucky for Renault, out for not shouldn't be too long. I think it might be 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm.
Hopefully two at worst. But a bit unfortunate for Renault. But I think he is actually meant to be coming back in 2 weeks against the Tigers, so that early possibility might be there. But this is a good game, high scoring game, 66 points.
Mm.
Um, but Big Ben Takuda, I told you in the last podcast he was gonna score a try, and he did. It was pretty good on him, but it just a little bit too late there. I mean, Storm they scored back to back through Wishart and then Jerome Hughes,
Mm.
so good on them, which probably sealed the game there. And then Big Takuda crashes through, but Sailor's kicking wasn't the best, to be honest. I think because Ezra and Billy weren't really. Billy was only there for the long kicks, and then Ezra was there for the bombs, and then Sailor just decided to jump in the halves by himself.
Mm.
It was a bit of a poor kick by Sailor at the end of the match there, just a bit too much on it, too far to the right, and that locked the game for the Storm. But still a great win by the Storm, and a close one, 34-32. And then, well, what a game this was. Bulldogs 30, Roosters 26 in their 20-year anniversary of the Bulldogs winning the 2004 Grand Final. 20 years later, history repeats itself. Bulldogs winning again. What a game this was. This is, I think this was probably better than the Thursday night game, to be honest. We had a lot coming from this game. Um, a lot of talking points. Obviously, Bulldogs are up 26-0 at halftime. Roosters made that very late comeback. But Burn didn't score that try though. This game would have gone to golden point.
Honestly, like this is probably one of the craziest games I've ever seen. I'm not even gonna
I mean,
lie.
we
It was like what the fuck just happened.
like this season has been unreal. Like we saw a Storm coming back by 8 with 3 to go. Coast scoring try of the century. We saw a great game on Thursday night. We've seen a fair amount of upsets, and now we see a crazy game here between the Bulldogs and the Roosters. So 26-0 at half time. We saw a Matt Burton hat trick. We saw, I think it was a total 7 HIAs we had in this game.
Mm.
7 HIAs. I think four of them failed.
Oh
Four
my
failed,
god.
three complete. So that's a total of seven. So I know we had Blake Taff, um, James Tedesco, obviously. Sam Walker was one of them. I think did Jacob? I can't remember if Preston played or not.
Mm.
I don't think he did. I know Crine was almost sent for one.
Mm.
But I don't know. I think no kick out was I can't remember. We had it was seven. Current was also one. So there were seven HIAs in this game, and both reserves were activated for both teams. So crazy. And then of course we had the Dominic Young send off, which was absolutely crazy. It's really surprising though because you see Dom Young only suspended for 2 weeks and he unintentionally went high on Blake Taff. But then you see these hip drops, they don't get sent off, they only get sin binned. So, like Victor Radley's sin bin hip drop on Cryan, he only got sent for 10.
Yeah, that was a bit
Yet,
bullshit.
yet Dom Young makes a accidental high tackle and he gets sent off for the game. So I think NRL is going to do something about it. I think hip drops should be an automatic send off because it's dangerous. You're injuring a player for like 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, you're only in the sin bin. Yet Dom Young accidentally takes a player's head off, and he gets sent off for 2 to 3 weeks. So I think the rules have got to change about hip drops. I think it should be a send off, to be honest. So,
Mm.
but hey, end of the day, it was a good game. So 30-26, good job on the Bulldogs. And then we had the Knights. What treacherous conditions down there in Newcastle. 30 points to 10, Newcastle over the Dragons. I did say this was going to be a bit of a boring game, but to be honest, it was actually a slip and slide festival out there. To be honest, that was a really good game.
Yeah, it was. It
Like,
was.
shout out to the 9,500 fans that turned out in those conditions. Like, I don't know how if I could last 2 hours in those rainy conditions, and good on the players too for lasting all that time. It looked really, really fun to play in those conditions. To be honest,
Mm.
um, we saw Zach Lomax with a freakish flick pass too. Um, in the corner, straight to Ben Hunt. That was like some basketball stuff right there. So absolutely freakish from Lomax. Um, then we had Hastings in his first game back. He scores the first try of the match. So it's good to see Jacko back in the squad. And then
Mm.
of course we only had the one try in the second half with Kalen Ponga. Um, but there was I think there was about 20 something errors in this game, which
Oh my fuck.
20 no 30 12 to the Knights, 18 to the Dragons. So there were 30 errors in this game. Um, Probably because of the conditions.
Yeah. Like I'll be willing to excuse that though. Definitely because
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like 30 is a bit too much in these rainy conditions, but I feel like 15 would be the minimum, but 30, I feel like that's just above the max. But that was still actually a great game to watch. It would be very fun playing those conditions. So good job on the Knights. Took care of business. And well, sad day. I think this is you don't want to talk about this one, but Warriors
Yeah.
34,
Let's not spend too much time on this. There's honestly
Rabbitohs 4.
there isn't even really even much to talk about here. There actually isn't.
I mean, Bunnies, they just through that first try through Thompson. Not gonna lie, I
We
thought this would have been close.
we looked good the first 15, 20 minutes.
15-20 looked pretty strong. They didn't, only conceded the one try in the first 35 minutes through Rocco Berry.
Then we just stopped playing. I don't know. Like the rest of the time, Warriors didn't need to defend. We did it for them. We
Mm,
literally did it for them.
mm. So, I mean, like I said, once Thompson scored, I'm thinking, okay, hang on, this might be a close game here. We could see, a 1-12 game. Bunnies could potentially get up here, and then I don't know what happened with the. Honestly, I was a bit shocked with the Bunnies to be honest, because they actually had a lot of errors in this game. They had a lot. They completed 25 out of 41 sets.
Mm,
That's a completion rate of 60%. And the errors they had 16 errors compared to 8. So
mm.
6 penalties to 4 in favour of the Bunnies too, with 2 on reports, both coming to Latrell Mitchell, who has now been suspended
Just
for
dumb. That was
2 to 3 weeks.
that. Honestly, that
I
was
know.
just retarded.
It was the elbow to Sean Johnson. Like, there was no need for that. to be honest.
I
I
think
mean,
I saw someone make a good point. It just looks like he's playing angry. He just looks frustrated.
he's yeah, he's not doing that. He's just frustrated because with the team,
Mm,
like like Latrell, he's just like anyone. He hates losing. And, when he first joined the club back in 2020, they were a really strong club, the South Sydney Rabbitohs,
mm,
because obviously 2020 they made the prelims, and then they make a grand final which he didn't play in, and then I don't know, it's just Latrell. He doesn't want to lose. Like that's all it is. It's just the frustration. Like say hypothetically, say the Bunnies were like the Panthers, they keep on going on to win. Imagine how like it'd just be the other way around.
yeah.
Like he would be as happy as he ever was. So I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but Latrell could potentially move on from another club, maybe. Say that the Bunnies stay like this for the next until the end of his contract. I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know, but Latrell's not too happy to be honest. But I don't blame him. But unlucky for the Bunnies to be honest.
mm.
Let it slip away. But good job on the Wild. That's their biggest win of the season so far.
Yeah, I will say
And
they did look good.
Sean, it did. And then Sean Johnson scoring a double. Good job on him as well. So Warriors 34, Bunnies 4. Next game we had a bit of an upset here to be honest. Daly Cherry Evans um, is now the most is now played the most games for Manly
Mm,
in their club history, and they get the win 32 points to 18 over the Penrith Panthers. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that about Daly's milestone. I'm gonna be honest, if I knew about the milestone, I would have gone Manly because most of the time when a milestone happens, that team always gets up.
yeah.
But then I thought, it's the Panthers, they're playing against Manly, and I thought Penrith would have got up easily here, the way that
Mm,
Manly had been playing the last few weeks. Um, but if I knew about the milestone, I probably would have gone with Manly. But either way, this is actually still a great game. Um, Cherry Evans on the goal kicking day because they lost Ruben Garrick in the first 3 minutes, I think it was.
mm,
In the second or third minute, Garrick went off with a HIA. We saw Brad Schneider's actually playing a really good. He's playing really good in that number 7 jersey for Penrith. He was the first try scorer as well, so pretty good. But a controversial play through Kohler. What did you see? You remember that try where he sprinted down the field?
yeah,
Yeah, that
well, the
was
he
was that a
intercepted, right?
knock on though? Yeah.
Um,
Even though the ball did go backwards, but 9 times out of I don't know. I feel like
I
it's
feels
very
like
controversial.
honestly, no, but the way that it's been ref lately, yes. It's just it feels like it's been a lot of pick and choose lately, if I'm being honest.
Okay, let's just say the try gets called off. Penrith would have had the ball. They would have had a full set of 6
Mm,
inside Manly's 20. Say they don't score, Manly still win this game 26-18. But then I think if it wasn't for the try, Panthers would have won.
yeah.
Because as I just said, they had a full set of 6 inside Manly's 20.
Mm,
9 times out of 10, Panthers score without a doubt.
mm,
So I think if it wasn't for that try, Panthers win.
mm.
But I think that's a knock on to be honest.
Yeah, but
Even though it did go
it's
back.
yeah, it's been confusing. I don't know.
But you could clearly see that Jackson Barlow was trying to catch the ball. You could I don't know. It's
It's I tell you, it's because of the refing. The refing's just been so
the refing
confusing
has been
lately.
off recently.
Yeah,
Like there's all these stupid calls that are happening and I don't know. I'm personally saying that's a no try knock on, but
but it is what it is. Eagles did play well.
they did, especially in Daly's milestone game. So
Yeah.
I guess you can say Manly did deserve the win comfortably, but
Hmm.
Panthers they just looked off and I mean maybe this is good for them because they have a bye. They're on their bye this week, obviously. So maybe it's what they needed. Maybe they needed the loss. But either way, it's still a good game for the Panthers.
Mm.
Sorry for Manly. And then what a game this was actually. The Dolphins 26, Tigers 16. This was actually a really good game, to be
Yeah.
honest. I thought this game could have gone either way. The Dolphins were up 14-0 at halftime
Mm.
through Katoa and Hamaso. Um, but a lot of injuries came from this game with the Dolphins. Thomas Flegler with his AC, Kafusi with the hamstring, and the big one of Herbie Farnworth with his AC joint. So
Mm.
huge losses coming out of this game for the Dolphins, but the Tigers. I didn't really watch this game to be honest, but I think the Dolphins. I watched the highlights and they looked on the whole night. It looked like it was their game. To be honest,
Mm.
like I honestly did think the Tigers would have had it. I know they had a few missed opportunities at the Tigers. I know there was I think it was the first half. Olam Dream Bull offload to Olam, which was called forward.
Mm.
And then they had a couple more forward pass opportunities, which cost them. So
Yeah.
this game definitely could have gone either way, but it's still a good game. Still a good win for the Dolphins, but some huge losses for them, and they still sit first on the ladder, which is
Um,
really, really shocking.
I mean, to be fair, they have had such an easy draw.
I mean, yeah, as I've said
Like the only
in the
team,
first
tough team
podcast,
that
they
versed
got that
is
easy draw.
yeah, the first team that they versed is who they lost to, Cowboys. Then they versed
Cowboys,
Titans, Dragons, then Titan or Tigers.
yeah,
But
three teams that finished
but
in
this
the
is
bottom.
why I predicted they would make top eight because their draw is fairly easy until the half of
Yeah,
the
and then come to
season
the late
or
season,
late season. Yeah.
the Dolphins have a very hard draw.
Mm.
So yeah, like you said, they played first round. They played the Cowboys, which they got demolished.
Mm.
They played the Dragons the week after, but don't forget the Dragons were coming off a huge 28-4 victory over the Titans the week before too.
Yeah.
And then the Dolphins obviously coming from their huge 43-18 loss the week before. So everyone would have thought that the Dragons would have gone up in that game. But then, Dolphins got up. Then they had their bye. And then they obviously beat the Titans, of course, now the Tigers. But then their draw coming up, it's here and there. It's 50-50. So obviously they play the Broncos.
Mm.
And then they're in Queensland for 5 straight games, I think. 6 straight games. They've actually been in Queensland. They're up until round number 12. So for their first 10 games, they're in Queensland.
Mm.
So I think that might be a real booster for the Dolphins. But anyway, they play the Broncos at Suncorp. They then play the Eels in Darwin, the Knights at Suncorp, Cowboys in Townsville, Manly in Brisbane, Tigers for Magic Round, and then they travel to New Zealand.
Mm.
So realistically, they should lose to the Broncos with their outs, of course, the
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Honestly, I think the Bronx are gonna like what's the word
I
I'm
wouldn't
looking
say a
for?
walk in the park because don't forget the Dolphins still have a very good team in this game. Don't forget that.
Mm.
But I wouldn't say it's going to be a walk in the park for the Broncos. I think it's going to. I think they should comfortably get up though.
I think yeah, that's what that's the words I'm looking for. I think the Broncos are gonna punch them in the mouth, like
Yeah, it's not going to
give
be
them a
like
reality,
like
give them
mm,
a reality check. Like just because they're first in the ladder, it's far from them being the best team.
yeah. Wayne Bennett's just because they're first in ladder. Wayne Bennett's not thinking that they're going finals footy. Like
Yeah.
his experience, he knows that once round 27's over, you'll then know if you're playing finals footy or not. He's that type of coach.
Mm.
So he's not thinking about, okay, we're first on the ladder, we're versing a Broncos team that's in 11th, we're going to easily beat them. No, that's not how it goes. So this game is their reality check right here.
Mm.
This game. So and then of course I play Para in Darwin. Para have not got a good record up there in Darwin.
Mm.
They've only got their one win, which came against the Bronx in 2021. And it's going to be hot and humid. I don't think the Dolphins have actually played in hot, humid conditions in a while. I think the Cowboys was their last hot, humid game. So say they should get up in that one. They then play the Knights, which is going to be a very 50-50 game, I think. And then of Cowboys in Townsville, Cowboys should definitely take care of business the way that they've been playing. Manly, looking like a Manly win, potentially. Tigers, it's going to be not one of those games. And then the Warriors in New Zealand. But then we do get to that later stage. So from their bye in round 18, they're on their bye. And we start from round 19, they play the Bunnies. Now, depending on the way that the Bunnies play, it should be a Dolphins victory,
Mm.
unless the Rabbitohs can somehow turn things around. And then they play the Panthers down in Penrith, then play the Titans at home, Roosters in Perth, Warriors in Brisbane, Bulldogs in Bundaberg, Storm in Melbourne, Broncos in Brisbane, and the Knights down in Newcastle.
Mm.
So, yeah, like you said, they got that easy draw at the start of the season, but then coming after their third and final bye, it gets trickier for them. So this is what I'm saying. That once the Dolphins come to that bye stage, I don't think they'll be playing finals. Maybe they
Mm.
might, but it's not going to be easy for them.
Yeah.
So that's just my prediction. And then, so the Sunday games. This is Cowboys 35 times 22. We did actually see a late Titans comeback though. Um, but the Cowboys just proved too strong. Um, big, very, very unfortunate for the center, Zach Labor. Um, suffered an ACL injury. Very unfortunate for the young bloke. I do feel bad for him. He's been sensational in his first
Mm.
5 games with the Cowboys. I think he scored. I know he scored in the round one, and he scored this game obviously. No idea how many tries he scored, but he's been very good. Drinkwater getting his 2 tries as well, which is pretty good for him. But yeah, just unfortunate for the Titans. They're still yet to find another win on their season, but I don't even know when their first one's going to come. To be honest, they might be waiting a very long time for that one. But good job on the Cowboys. And then finally, we had the Raiders in a demolition 41-8 victory down there in Canberra. I mean, Para, they just didn't come out to play, did they? They just,
I
they
had
were just shocking.
Yeah, like who knew that? Obviously, some teams are like this, but who knew that a team could go that bad without a player with Moses? Like,
I know and they've, there's been a change in that halves too this week. Dejan Arce jumps into the 6 jersey and then drops young Blaze Talangi into the reserves. So very, very big win for the Raiders.
mm,
And of course, they played the Titans this week as well. So we could see a repeat of what happened with the Raiders against
mm,
Para. But I honestly thought Para would have put up a fight, to be honest.
mm,
I was not expecting that as a result. That's just very, very poor from Para, yeah. And then, of course, Cronulla had their bias. So, um, have you got your moment of the round?
um, this is tough. I need to think about. It. I'll let you go first.
Well, my moment of the round is pretty close. It was between um, Ezra Mam's try, Freakish try, which is actually announced try of the round.
Mm,
Um, the conditions down in Newcastle, absolutely treacherous. Um, or Bulldogs, uh, 20-year anniversary. But I'm gonna go with Daly Cherry Evans,
oh, you
the
bastard! I
most
was thinking
capped
about that.
DC, the most capped Seagull of all time. Um, is just good on him.
Mm,
He's I think it's like 318 games I don't know how many he's played exactly, but
Mm.
it's somewhere around 320. Um, First joined the club back in 2011, which was actually the first season that Manly won the his first season when Manly won the premiership too, that exact same year. Um, and he's 35 years of age, Queenslander captain of Queensland. So absolutely a round of applause to Daly Cherry Evans. He's an absolute freak of the game,
Mm.
and to reach that milestone at the age of 35 too, he's got at least 3 more years in him at least, is
Yeah.
what I'm going to say. So good job for Daly. That's definitely my moment of the round.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go probably Carl Felt breaking the try scoring record.
Mm,
Um, yeah, like good on him, honestly. Like, oh, especially that try, like him getting that intercept was pretty hectic. I was kind of glad because I had a multi, not him getting a try, but I think like a margin or something like that.
yeah,
Like overs, actually overs, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it actually took him because I remember back in round one, um, obviously in the corner he didn't knock the ball on, and that try would have given him the try scoring record.
Mm,
So it's taken him about 5 games, but yes, that's another great milestone for Kyle Felt, top try scorer for the Cowboys.
mm,
So that's moment of the round, and now over to round number 6. So kick things off with tonight's game. We have the Newcastle. Now all these games are back to their original times, with
mm,
daylight savings being over, of course. So start things off. We have the Newcastle Knights versus the Sydney Roosters over in Newcastle at 7:50 p.m. So it's back to its original time. Um, a lot of outs, a lot of news from this game. Newcastle are obviously the favourites for this game now, and the Sydney Roosters are missing 3 players, 3 huge players. So they're missing Dom Young, of course, James Tedesco, and Sam Walker with HIAs, which means that Feta Ponga, Feta Lagi Ponga, is named in the wings.
mm,
Michael Jennings, at 37, 38 years of age, is now into the centres, and that shifts Joey Manu off to fullback. And Connor Watson gets his uh, halves appearance debut for the Sydney Roosters. So Connor Watson and Luke Keary named as the halves, and Luke Keary named as the captain for tonight. So big changes for Trent Robinson's side with the Sydney Roosters. Victor Radley has avoided suspension on his hip drop tackle on Stephen Crine. So that could have been another big out for the Roosters, but and which now puts the Newcastle Knights as the favourites to win this game. Um, so they're down there in Newcastle, of course, coming off a 20-point win against the Dragons in horrendous conditions, of course. Um, Roosters are coming off a 4-point loss, which they should have won but didn't. Um, I don't know about this game. Like it's very very close, to be honest. I think
is like honestly, I think the bookies have it wrong for this one. It should be like $1.80, $1.90 type stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, the Knights are paying $1.50, so it's changed now. Knights are paying $1.55. Roosters at 2.46.
Mm.
So the odds have been changed now. Knights have dropped down as heavy favourites to this one now. So and then the Knights at 2.75 1 to 12. Knights at 3.15 at 13 plus.
Mm.
That's higher odds than the Roosters to win by 1 to 12 or 13 plus. So I mean, I wouldn't say the Knights are heavy favourites to win it, but this is actually going to be a 50-50 game, even with the 3 major outs
Yeah,
of the
I
Roosters.
agree. Mm.
Um, because now you got the captaincy of Luke Keary, Connor Watson, who hasn't played in the halves since he was at Newcastle. So I think it's been about 4 or 5 years since he actually played, was named in the halves. So he's not going to be used to that because he's obviously a lock and a hooker. And then Michael Jennings, who is 35, 38 years of age, um, he's old. He's not the best, but I don't know, this Roosters side, I don't think they have what it takes to win this game, to be honest.
Mm.
Especially without their three huge players. Because, Dom Young, you're missing a tall freak. This would have been his first game um, back in Newcastle since he left too. So
Yeah.
I'm sure the Knights fans would have been getting up for this one, but
Mm.
you're missing a huge giraffe, missing a huge try scoring freak. James Tedesco, you're missing not only your own captain, you're missing the New South Wales captain and the Kangaroos captain too, and you're missing young Sam Walker, who is his playmaking is on another level. He's your number one goal kicker too. So that's three huge outs for the Roosters.
Mm.
But to be honest, I don't see them winning this game because the Knights at home. I think they've won 9 of the last 10 at home. Their only loss was obviously to the Raiders in round one, or it's 11 of the last 12 they've won at home,
Yeah.
which is strong for the Knights. So I do see them getting up in this game for sure, especially the way that they played last week. Because I think if it was dry last week, the Knights could easily put 50 on St. George, I reckon. But I don't see them having the same repeat as last week. I think they're going to score less points in this game, but
Yeah.
it's going to be very good, and it's going to be great to see the battle of the fullbacks too, Ponga and Manu. Would have been better with Ponga and Tedesco, um, two Queensland Maroon fullbacks, uh, of course without Walsh. Um, sorry, two Origin fullbacks, Ponga and Teddy, but Ponga and Manu is also going to be a good matchup too. So I think we're in for a really good game to start off Thursday night. Um, and then Friday nights, um, there's Storm and the Bulldogs. Um, I personally wouldn't say the Bulldogs are $6.50 for this game. I feel like that's way too harsh.
Yeah.
Um, they're at $6.40 at the moment.
Just look at the line. Look at the line.
Yeah, the line's like 17, 16 and a half now. I feel like that is way too harsh on the Bulldogs.
Mm.
Like, they're only missing Blake Taff and Kurt Mann. Yeah, they've made their changes. Crine's at fullback, Bronson Sherry's in the centre. Josh Adokar makes his return into the side. Like I think that's just way too harsh to be honest.
Mm.
They should be at least $3 to $4. Because last year the Bulldogs actually upset the Storm and won 26-12.
Mm.
But I do believe that the Bulldogs play the way they did last week in the first half.
Yeah, just the first half, not the
Just the
second.
first half, Bulldogs can definitely win this game.
Oh yeah.
But then, of course, the Storm, they did come off their big win over the Broncos. So say that the Storm play the way they did in their second half, and say the way the Bulldogs played in their first half, it would either be a low scoring game because the defense was good from both teams,
Mm.
or it's going to be a very high scoring game because of how good the attack was. So I think Bulldogs first half team shows up, Storm's second half team shows up from last week. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, like once again, we always see great fullback battles. This time we got Papenhuyzen versus Crichton. Crichton's first game at fullback since he was at Penrith back in, I think 2021 was the last time he was named at fullback
Mm.
for a club. So this is going to be a huge test because Crichton actually wanted to play fullback. One of the reasons that he signed with the Bulldogs, but then they picked up Blake Taff,
Mm.
which then forced him into the centres. Um, so say maybe Crichton plays good this game. He could stay there, but I don't think. But Taff has been beautiful in that number one jersey
Mm.
to start off the season, so I don't see Crichton holding on to the number one jersey. Um, but it's gonna be a big test for him. Obviously, he hasn't played at fullback since 2021 or named at fullback since 21. Um, so it's gonna be a huge test for him, and of course, Josh Adokar finally comes back into the side. Praying that he doesn't get injured again, because that'll be his third injury in just 6 rounds. So, and then of course another great halves battle: Munster and Hughes versus Byrne and Hutchinson. Munster versus Byrne in 5'8". Both these players can score tries whenever they want.
Mm.
So they're two absolute freaks of the game. Because was it against the Bunnies when they lost the Bulldogs? A lot of people were saying to chuck Byrne into the centres, and then obviously he scores 3 tries last week and he still stays in 5'8". So Burns proving to everyone that he is a 5'8" and not a centre. So, but that still would have been a very good centre matchup of Burton and Crichton though.
Mm.
Like going back to the Panthers days too, that would have been good. But I just love seeing Burton and Kickout on the left side.
Mm.
Like those two players absolutely tortured the Roosters' right side defense last week. Like Kickout was burrowing over every player, and him on the Kickout and Burton are probably they're probably the most dangerous duo on the left side, to be honest. So if they can target Storm's left side all night, I reckon that's the key to victory here for the Dogs. Let Burton and Kickout target Storm's left edge, and I say that they get up in this one because you got I think it's Warbrick. Warbrick's on the right side. Same with is it? I think it's Meany. Yeah, Warbrick and Meany on the right edge. When you got Kickout and Burton running at those two, I don't see Warbrick and Meany stopping them at all.
Mm.
So I think key for victory is definitely Burton and Kickout to target
Mm.
Melbourne's right edge there. To be honest, that's my prediction for them to win.
Mm.
It's still going to be a good game anyway. And then of course Friday night, the Battle of Brisbane once again. Broncos and the Dolphins. Um, a lot of talking points from this game. Of course, they mentioned the outs of Kafusi and Farnworth. Tom Flegler actually did get cleared of a major AC joint injury. He actually got named on Tuesday to play in the side, so he's starting prop as always. But still, no Kafusi out for 2 to 3 weeks. Farnworth out for 6 to 8 weeks. Um,
Damn.
yeah, it's unlucky for Herbie.
Kind
Um,
of wish he played this game also. What is it with
I
like
know
players not getting injured, not playing against their old teams this week?
I know Dom Young this week was meant to be first game back in Newcastle. Now Herbie can't play against his old side. I mean, it's just unfortunate. And obviously on the Broncos side with no Adam Reynolds,
Mm.
I know Dean Mariner too. He's
Yep.
actually suffered a fractured back, so he's been confirmed out for 2 to 3 weeks at least. Which brings young Corey Oates into the winger. His first starting appearance since I think last year or the year before. So he's partnered up with Jesse Arthurs on the wing.
Mm.
And of course, probably the biggest talking point from this game, Reece Walsh has officially been named to make his return in the Broncos squad at the fullback role, of course. And what a way to come back in the Battle of Brisbane, matched up against your fellow Queenslander Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, who has been on a roll this season, Hamiso.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think he scored a try in every game apart from round one. So obviously he scored against hat trick against the Dragons, scored against the Titans, and scored against the Tigers. So he scored in the past 3 games, um, which is absolutely unreal. So that is going to be a very good fullback matchup.
Mm. Oh
Um,
yeah.
Reece Walsh, I don't know if he's going to wear headgear tomorrow night because he hasn't worn headgear since he was at the Warriors in his first season. So
Mm.
I think he might go with the pretty pink headgear.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's not really going to protect his eye, to be honest. Headgears headgear for a reason. It's only really protecting your head,
Maybe,
to be
yeah.
honest.
But still, I guess we better be safe than sorry.
It would, yeah. Um, and then, of course, Corey Oates back into the side, and Jock Madden comes back into the halves. Um, and Jordan Ricky, who actually suffered an ankle injury at training, Kevy mentioned everything but ruled him out of the game. He was then meant to be ruled out last night, and now he's been confirmed to play this morning. So Ricky has been cleared of injury. He's going to play. And we heard the news earlier in the week as well of Ezra Mam, who actually limped off training with
Yeah,
a
limped
cork
off,
injury.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's actually been confirmed to play as well. So Ezra and Ricky have been cleared of injuries. They're confirmed to play, which is great news for the Bronx. Um, and of course, Tom Flegler cleared of any major injury, so he's been cleared to play too. And Tristan Saylor has finally been named in the 17, which is very good. He should have been named there in the first place. Absolute freak Tristan, as I've been saying, and yeah, I mean this is going to be a good game. Battle of Brisbane, Friday night footy. Walsh returns. Um, Walsh returns. Milford actually comes back into the squad.
Oh.
Um, he's coming back from injury on the interchange. Going to be a good. I feel like this game would be a lot better if everyone was fully healthy. To be honest, if we had obviously Payne Haas, Dean Mariner, Renault, Piakura, Herbie Farnworth as well, Kafusi, this game would have been very very good. Um, but either way, it's still going to be a good game, like you said. It's not going to be a walk in the park for the Broncos. Dolphins will still put up a fight for sure. Um, but I think it's actually going to be a sellout because we're only down to the corners. The corners are sold out. I think there's only the sidelines and the posts for this game that's only available down to single seats. So we wake up tomorrow morning, this game is probably going to be a sellout, which is very good
Mm.
for a Battle of Brisbane. And then, so that's Friday night. Two very, very good games. And then Saturday, start off with a good one. We got the New Zealand Warriors versus the Manly Sea Eagles. I've actually got on my notes here that I reckon this is going to be a finals preview, to be honest. Like the way that both teams have been playing, I reckon we could see these two teams match up sometime in the finals. Maybe the semis would be my prediction.
Mm.
Both teams currently sixth and seventh. Obviously, both sides coming off of huge wins. Um, a big one is that Dallin Watene-Zelezniak has been cleared of injury. He's been named to play this week. Um, the only out is Bunty Afoa and Ruben Garrick, only two outs from this game.
Mm.
Not also Dallin back, but Tane Tuapiki is back, and same with Kurt Capewell. So Kurt's been named back into that start into the number 12 jersey. But this is actually going to be a very, very good matchup. Both these sides um, that are definitely premiership contenders, I believe. Um, two teams that can play finals footy. Um, Another great fullback matchup, of course, Nickel Clog Sarjabojevic, but also Sean Johnson versus Daly Cherry Evans. That is another great halves matchup over in New Zealand. Um,
I will say this is another matchup where the bookies just also have it wrong. Like it's just crazy how much the Wires are the favorites. Like what are they at again?
uh, they're at $1.46 to Manly
Far
2.71,
out.
and the
That's
line is at
crazy.
6.5 with the line.
That is crazy.
So it is pretty incredible. And I think it's just because the Warriors got up massively last week and Manly just got up. But it's same with the Bulldogs. It's a bit unfair that Manly are at 271. I thought they would have been
Yeah, but to be fair, like the Wires,
50-50.
not to take anything from them, they've versed against an out of form Rabbitohs at the moment, and while the Panthers are the Panthers, you know.
Yeah. And they're only Manly's two losses were who Para and the Dragons, and Warriors' only losses were Cronulla and the Storm.
Mm,
So both sides, Warriors' only losses came to top eight sides, Manly's to bottom eight sides.
mm,
So I mean, yeah, I think they've got it wrong here. Manly shouldn't be at 271, and the line to be at 6.5 too. I feel like it's a bit too high for a game like this.
mm,
I feel like it should be at least 2.5 or 3.5, to be honest. But I don't know. I reckon win for a very, very good game in New Zealand. That's a great way to start off Saturday Arvo footy.
mm.
Um, and then Parramatta versus the Cowboys. There's not really much from the really for this game. Um, only Zach Labour uh, out, only out from this game, in fact. But this should actually be
He's out for the season, isn't he?
actually yeah, he is out for the season. That's with the ACL, of course. Um, but I feel like this one should easily be a walk in the park for the Cowboys.
Mm,
To be honest, way that both sides have been playing, you'd expect the Cowboys to win by 13 plus. Um, and play the way they did last week. I don't know. They did score more points in the second half though, the Cowboys. But still, I think this should be an easy 13 plus victory for the Cowboys because they're just like they were last season. To be honest, they're not at their best footy. And if Para keep playing like this, maybe they could be losing their coach Brad Arthur. Um, but Para they are on back-to-back losses though, so they wouldn't want to get three losses in a row. But I do believe that they will get three losses in a row, and then Cowboys will be at 5-1. That's a great way. That's a great start to the season for the Cowboys. Actually, to start off the season 5-1 after not making the finals the season before is actually really, really good for the club. So that's good for the Cowboys, and I hope that they do win this game. To be honest, be good for the Cowboys fans. But as I said, Para, they don't want to start the season off 3-0. Sorry, they don't want to start off with a losing streak at three losses in a row, especially in front of their home fans too. So that should be a good win for the Cowboys, hopefully. And then Saturday night we got the Bunnies and the Sharks. Um, Now we'll start off with the obvious, of course. Jason Dimitro's 18 minutes to save a season. It all comes down to this: 80 minutes to
on it,
save your career.
unless if even if we win this, unless if they win it away, where it's against basically nil, and they play absolutely like they play like divine or whatever. They play literally the best footy we've ever seen. Even if we win this, I think JD's still getting fired. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, win or lose, Dimitro's going to get fired no matter what.
Yeah, he will get the sack, I reckon.
He definitely will. And there've been the rumors of Mel Meninga to be the favorite of the intern coach
I
at the
I, I
Bunnies,
think I hope that happens because he has a good
which will
rapport with the players. So
it'll actually be really good um, for the Bunnies having Mel as the interim coach.
mm,
Obviously, he brings all that experience from his playing times
yeah.
um, to the Bunnies, and obviously being a center, Jack White and Isaiah Tass, Campbell Graham as well when he comes back and pick up a lot of advice from Mel Meninga.
And maybe he even
Um,
recognised to put the troll there if Jai Gray does really well.
I mean, yeah, obviously Dry Gray makes his Dry Gray playing an NRL debut.
I wanted to enter news, but it's good. I'll say it now. He is just signed for an extra 2 years.
He has actually. I've just seen that now.
Yeah.
His extends with the Bunnies. So he signed a 2-year extension. Yeah. Not sure how long it does it say. Does it have his pay? But it won't be that much.
Yeah, because he is still relatively new. So that's how it usually goes.
It'll probably be about 450. My guess will be 450,
Mm.
450,000. So with Jai Gray extending, maybe that's a sign. That could be a sign that Latrell could jump into the centers, maybe.
I hope it is. Like, I hope so.
Because I don't.
I think the way Latrell's playing right now, it would be far more effective at center. The way he's playing right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, reading here, Gray will replace suspended Latrell after impressive performances in the Charity Shield New South Wales Cup. So once it's win or lose, Demetrio should go.
Yeah,
Say
oh
Mel
yeah,
comes in, he might look at Giant after this game and think, all right, he's going to be our starting fullback.
I hope so.
Chuck with White and Latrell at the centers, but then you got poor Isaiah Tass though. Um,
Just move Cody to
I'd say drop Dean Hawkins and then move Cody into 7, Wine at 6,
yeah,
and keep Tass because
I like that. Yeah.
Tass has been a very good. He's a very good center.
Mm.
Isaiah Tass. He's been pretty good
Yeah,
this season, to be honest.
yeah, he has been pretty good. I don't want to. I'd rather get rid of Hawkins than him. So.
Yeah. So I think obviously signing Jai Gray signing an extension that could potentially be a sign that Latrell jumps into the centers and Jai Gray can be the new starting fullback for the Bunnies.
Mm.
Because we saw him in preseason, he was an absolute freak.
Mm.
Was a young bloke. And obviously making your club debut in actually a pressure game for your coach as well. Um, so Jai's got a big 80 performance, and of course Dimitrio's got a huge 80-minute performance coming up. But as we said, win or lose, Dimitrio's going to get sacked. So this will definitely be his last game
Oh
as
yeah.
head coach
I,
of the Bunnies. But
it's gonna be interesting. I wonder if like he's heard the news during the week and whether or not he's tried. I wonder if like it's gonna show like, oh, he's barely tried, so we're gonna not gonna try in this game, so he definitely gets sacked. So Sharks, there's gonna be like another massive win. So it's gonna be
yeah,
interesting
well,
to see.
Sharks have Cronulla. They've obviously heard the news, so they're gonna. It's like they're gonna not try. They're gonna want to win, obviously. They're gonna want to win by a huge amount to put that even more embarrassment
I mean,
on JD.
there's definitely a high chance with what's happening at the moment. Maybe the players want him gone. Maybe we'll
So,
just
yeah,
see him
that's
like shit.
maybe that's one of the reasons for Latrell's anger. Maybe he's not happy with Demetrio. Yeah,
Mm,
that's probably one of the reasons with his anger. He's not happy with the club. He's not happy. Maybe it's just the coach. Maybe JD goes and Latrell's happy all of a sudden.
mm. And
So
Mal comes in, has like I said, very good rapport with Latrell and that. So hopefully
yeah,
that'll boost their morale.
maybe it's the coach that Latrell's not happy with. But I guess there's only one way to find out. And
Mm.
also, um, JD's 80 minutes to save a season, and he decides to drop Damien Cook into the reserves. Like that is a not only has he dropped Damien Cook, he's also dropped Sean Keppie from the squad. So but I think that just shows he doesn't care about his job anymore, to be honest.
I get, yeah, like him axing Dame Cook. It's like, what are you thinking?
Because he's put in Peter Mamazoulis, who's, I mean, he's all right, not the best, but I don't know
Mm,
why you've got 80 minutes to save your season, and you decide to drop your co-captain from the squad in Damien Cook. So really, I don't know what to go with that is there. But not only Cook, you've dropped Sean Keppie too, who's a very, very good forward. Very, very strong forward. So I think that just shows
Ke-
Demetrio doesn't care about his job anymore.
Listen, with Kepi, I I haven't been happy with him lately. He has just had way too many errors. I don't know. Like I know he's a good forward, but he's lost us tries. All the players have, but him especially. Like the amount of times I've seen him drop the ball at the try line has actually made me lose brain cells.
Yeah, I mean, Kepi's been alright, but I do think he deserves a spot on the bench at least.
Yeah, like on the bench, like I understand, but not probably not getting dropped. But you know,
But I don't know. Like I said, it just shows that JD doesn't really care about his job. To be honest, he dropped Cook.
yeah, Kim dropping Cook has made me convinced he just wants the payday now. He's
He
heard the
does.
news, probably like, oh, why should I try? I'm just gonna drop Cook. Gonna
So
coach them to lose his game, get a quick payday of 9 months.
it's pretty stupid. But
Mm.
hey, I guess Mal will start next week, or is no? Because this is their last game of their three game homestand. Because I think they have the bye next week, don't they? I think.
Mm.
Or is it the week? I don't
No,
know.
no,
They got a
it's next
bye.
week. Next week.
Next week they got the bye.
Mm.
And then who do they have? I think they got a
Storms,
Storm,
then
that's right.
Panthers, and then
So
Dragon.
bye, yeah. Storm, Panthers, Dragons, Cowboys, Para,
I
bye.
think Dragons game could be the turnaround game because that's when we get AJ, Latrell, and all that stuff back.
Yeah, because Latrell is it 2 or 3 games with Latrell?
3, I think. It's the amount of because I know it showed they definitely came back the same as AJ, and AJ's coming back a Dragon. So
Oh, I'll find out soon anyway what round he comes back. So
mm.
yeah, that's the Bunny Sharks. It'll be good to see Jai Gray, to be honest.
I hope he does really well. I really hope he does.
Hope so. Be good for the young bloke to get a debut.
Mm.
Um, and then Sunday, Tigers and the Dragons. Um, Tigers both teams coming off a loss.
Mm.
Um, not really much for this game. I think the Tigers definitely win this for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Um, no, there's not really much to this game to be honest. Just Tigers, they got to just keep playing the way they've been playing recently, and the Dragons, they just got to play like the way they did against Manly, and yeah, they should comfortably win this game too.
Mm.
But hey, it's going to be a 50-50 game. I hope the Tigers get up in this one.
Mm.
But whoever wins should still be a good game of footy.
Mm.
And well, there's not really much for this game either. The Raiders and the Titans. The Titans, they just can't seem to win a game of footy.
I don't see them winning a game anytime soon. It's actually kind of scary.
No, well, I'm looking at their draw. So their draw is Raiders, obviously this week.
Mm.
Manly next week
Mm.
at home. They then play the Warriors in New Zealand. Storm at home. Cowboys at home. Knights at Magic Round. Broncos at Suncorp. They then have a bye. They then play the Bunnies at home
I think bunnies will be better, like, especially if Mal comes in. We'll be better by then.
for sure.
Def
And
It looks
then
better now.
they play the Tigers on the road,
That's probably like
Warriors at home,
oh my god.
bye, Cronulla on the road, Para at home, Manly on the road, Dolphins on the road, Broncos at home, Sharks at home, Dragons on the road, Roosters at home, Knights on the road, Panthers on the road. I'm going to say
Hey,
this now. I don't
hey,
see them winning a game.
hey, look, no, there's a couple games they can win there. The buys.
Bye is their only game that they're going to win. Other than that, I don't see the Titans winning a single game in 2024.
The only chance is literally the Tigers, but Tigers, they look good at the moment.
Raiders, they'll probably get steamrolled for sure.
Oh yeah.
Manly, it might be close. Warriors, I don't see the Warriors losing. Storm, they might get steamrolled, of course. Cowboys, I'm going to say the Knights, potentially they could beat the Knights at Magic Round.
Mm.
That's a potential
So
game they could win.
this coach they have, did they have him last year? I don't remember.
No, Des Hasler,
Oh, this is not a
former
good for
Manly
this
coach.
guy, man. This is
I know
not
it's
a
his
good
first.
look.
He's a premier. He won the 2011 premiership with Manly. He's got that premiership experience. Des Hasley wanted to bring that over to Gold Coast,
Mm.
and they've just not up been they haven't been up to their standards. So
Mm.
as I said, Magic Round Knights is they're probably the only game they could win. Broncos. I mean, last year they did upset the Bronx at Suncorp,
Mm.
but they're out for revenge this time out. They had the bye. Bunnies. I mean, say the Bunnies keep playing the way they do, who knows who could win this game? The way
Yeah,
both sides have
I
been
think
playing, but it
I
should be
think with
Bunnies for
Mal,
sure,
yeah, like I think if Mal comes in, we'll definitely get that one.
100%. Because Mel was actually a part of the Titans coaching staff
Mm.
last year and the year for a few years, so he's gonna want the win. And then the Tigers, they can win it, but the way that the Tigers have actually been playing, Tigers should definitely win that game for sure. And Warriors in Gold Coast, the Titans Warriors are actually the Titans bogey team, so the Warriors should definitely win that one, of course. Sharks, Para, Manly, Dolphins, Broncos. Yeah, I don't see them winning a single game in 2024. Only game that they could win would be the Dragons, Tigers, or the Knights. That would be my prediction,
Mm.
I think. So, I mean, we haven't seen. Say the Titans don't win a game all year. It
Is
would have
that
been the worst team since the Knights in
has there ever been a
2016.
winless season before?
I think it was the Knights. I think the Knights played pretty goddamn poor in a season. I forgot. I think it was 2017. They had one win. I think. No, they had five. I forgot which year it was. The Knights. So in 2016, they only had one win, one draw.
Mm.
Um, Let me just see. Has the team ever lost a? Has the team ever gone winless in the NRL? I don't think there has, unless it was years and years ago. The 1966 Eastern Suburb Roosters, the last team to go winless through the season. They copped some awful hidings in their depressing 18-match campaign.
But that was like what,
Yeah,
70 years ago?
66.
Like it was 60 years
Nah,
ago?
80.
A
No,
80.
yes, no, sorry, yeah, 60. 60, 58 years ago. 58
My
years ago was the
God.
last time. Rugby League.
Damn.
Rugby League, that's Great Britain. So, the East Suburbs, it's 1966. South Sydney in 1946. Three university teams, Annandale in 1920 and 18. Brisbane Rugby League and Queensland Cup. Okay, so actually, 2023, the Ipswich Jets had 0 wins, 20 losses in the Queensland Cup.
Oh.
I remember 2015, Ipswich won the competition
Mm.
in the Queensland Cup. They won the grand final.
Mm.
So, yeah, no Queensland team in the NRL. So no team in the NRL era has has had a winless season. So I think the Titans definitely do it. I don't see the Titans winning a single game all season, to be honest. So it's
Mm.
just absolutely crazy.
Unless it was like a pretty big upset.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely going to win the wooden spoon. This is definitely my prediction, them to win the wooden spoon for sure. But it's just very unfortunate if they can't win a game. Um, okay, so that's the preview. And for the injury update, I can't seem. Nope, not up yet, but okay, so we'll start off with the Bronx. So
Sorry about
of
that,
course,
Mike.
So casualty ward injuries, of course. Broncos start off, of course. Reece Walsh and Willison is back. So Payne Haas, Brendan Piakura, Adam Reynolds are all back round 8 versus the Tigers. And Dean Mariner back in round 9
Mm.
from his back injury. Josh Adokar, Connor Tracy back this week. Jacob Preston back around 6. Blake Taff, Blake Wilson head knock to be confirmed. Helium Lukey round 9. Zach Labert, of course, next season. Tom Flegler back. Lemuelu this next round. Herbie Farnworth back round 9. Uh, Felice Kafusi to be confirmed. I think it's just 2 to 3 weeks. Mitchell Moses back around 12. So that's after Magic round. Frizzell to be confirmed hamstring. Greg Marju returns tonight. Nathan Cleary, he was meant to return round 7, but there's been talks that that's going to be extended. So
Mm.
Cleary might not return round 7 though.
Really?
Yes. So he could be out for longer periods of time, is Nathan Cleary. Um, Scott Sorensen, round 7. Jerome Luai is to be confirmed as well because he actually suffered his injury versus Manly.
Mm.
So he's to be confirmed. Shaq Mitchell, round 6. Johnston, Latrell Mitchell back around 10, which is versus the Dragons.
Yeah.
So yes, it is around 10. Of course, Campbell Graham around 20. Lachlan Ilias unfortunately is out for 6 months in that
Fuck.
horror broken leg
Did you see
in
that
New
video?
South Wales. Yes, it was a
Oh.
horror injury. I feel bad for Lachlan Ilias.
Mm.
Out for 6 months. He had surgery Tuesday morning. So I send out my big wishes to Lachlan Ilias. Hope he recovers quickly because he is a very, very good young player.
I feel bad.
Lockie.
Honestly, I feel bad for him getting like axed from the team. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think he didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't deserve it, that's for sure.
Mm.
So Lachlan Ilias, 6 months. Sounds like it's going to be for the season.
Yeah.
Richie Kennard to be confirmed. Raiders, we've got Zach Hosking this round. Corey Horsburgh. Jordan Rapana round 11. So Magic round. Elliot Whitehead to be confirmed. Corey Hadawira-Nora, who hadn't played since his cardiac arrest in last year versus the Bunnies. He's definitely been cleared to play rugby league again, but they're still resting him. They're not sure when he can return,
Mm.
but he's definitely been cleared to play this season.
Mm.
So they're just resting Corey for now. So hopefully we can see him out on the field as soon as possible. And then the Roosters, Tedesco, Walker concussion back round 7. Dom Young back round 8. Spencer Leniu, of course, back in round 10. Jason Saab returns next week. That was from his Vegas injury, was it? I think his hamstring. Um,
I'm not
yes,
sure.
yes, it was because remember he was out for 6 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Jason Saab. So yeah, he returns from his Vegas injury. Garrick, I assume he will return next week from his head knock. Cronulla, they got a fair amount. Britton Nakota, Rudolph, Brandon Hamuele return this week. Finucane returns next week. Storm, the only injury is Sua Fa'alongo, who returns round 7 next week. So after that, they'll be the most healthy team. Titans, Isaac Liu back this week. Keenan Palacia next week. Philip Sami round 8. Foreign to be confirmed. And Tino, of course, next season.
Mm.
Warriors have got a fair amount. Cape Well with Tenny Zalesniak round 6, of course. Bunty Afoe around 11. Neocote around 14. Metcalf, Walker, all to be confirmed. I hope Luke comes shortly. I think Luke was expected around 20 to 22. Hopefully we
Holy
can see him in there
moly.
shortly. So, Luke. Uh, Tigers, Lachlan Galvin returning next week from his suspension. Stafford Toa round 17. Adam Dewey round 17. Oh, sorry, Toa round 11. Dewey round 17. Bateman and the Fire brothers to be confirmed. So a lot of injuries coming out of all 17 clubs. Um, and the news, there hasn't really been too much. Obviously, Jai Gray extending with the club. Um, Injuries, of course, happening. I think there's actually been a few more. That's right, Lindsay Collins has signed a 2-year extension with the Roosters. So he stays until the end of 2028 now. I think Nick Meaney, he signed a contract extension until at least 2026. And that's about it. Timoko is re-signed with the Raiders till at least 2026 as well. Um, so yeah, that's really about it. Actually, while we are on signings, speaking of Latrell earlier, his contract ends in 2027.
Mm.
Okay, so he's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. But Jai Gray re-signing, that does probably will chuck Latrell into the centre zone, especially with him staying until 2027. So yeah, he's not going to go anywhere anytime shortly.
Yeah.
Is Latrell? Um, but really, that's about all the news that there is. So time for our predictions. So of course tonight we kick things off. Newcastle tips and betting time.
Mm.
Newcastle Knights $1.55, Roosters 2.46. So I'm gonna go. This is a bit 50-50, but I'm gonna go with the Knights,
Mm.
and I'm gonna go Chihuahua anytime, Tonga anytime, Manu anytime at $12.
Okay, so I also think this will be a crazy close game. But I will have the Knights 1-12. Now, for my honestly, I'm trying to back you for your bets, but I do have one bet on, and I've kind of copied from Snag Sports. So I did Bradman Best for a try score, and then Joseph for 4 more points.
Okay, well I am thinking of actually adding Ponga for 6+ points.
Mm.
But I'll probably do that in my
Because he
personal one.
hasn't missed a goal,
No, he
like
hasn't.
he
He's the
hasn't,
only
eh?
player that hasn't missed. No, he's 100% on the season. Is Ponga?
So he'll be good for 6 points, I reckon.
I reckon he will. Especially if he scores a try too. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then we got the Storm at $1.12, Bulldogs $6.40, with the line at 16.5, which is very shocking. So of course I'm going to go to the Storm. I'm going to go Melbourne head to head, Munster anytime, Pappenhausen anytime at $5.
Um, I'm gonna go Storms. I'm probably gonna go. I want to say 13 plus. It's tough.
I do, but I
It's
just have this slight feeling that the Dogs are going to put up a fight.
mm, it,
I'm
it, it
thinking I'm thinking that Storm they will be up by 13 plus with about 10 to go.
mm,
Maybe I'm going to say it'll be like 30 to 10, and then the
mm,
Bulldogs get in 2 late tries to make it 30 to 22.
mm.
I think that's my prediction.
Yeah. I'll go safe though. I'll go 13 plus. But like you said, it could very much as easily go 1-12. And I'll
Definitely.
yeah, I'll just same with all the other ones. I'll just back your bet on this one.
I I uh, I'm thinking of adding that line at 16.5.
It might be
Bulldogs
worth.
should definitely cover it at 16.5. I think they definitely cover the line, that's for sure. And then Broncos $1.34, Dolphins $3.30. Of course, got to tip the Broncos, and I'm going to go Broncos head to head. Katoni Stags and Hamaso Tabuai Fido at any time at $7.50.
Hmm. Um, wait, what'd you say? Sorry.
Um, yeah, Broncos head to head. Katoni Hamaso anytime $7.50,
Oh yeah.
and Broncos might tip.
Um, this is another one. I don't know whether to do. 1 to 12 or 30. I obviously have Bronx. I go. I know people are saying like it might be a close game. I think Broncos Crows with Reece Walsh coming back. I think they're gonna punch the Dolphins in the mouth. So I'm gonna do Broncos 13 plus. And I'm gonna do them for. I don't think have Broncos got a big win yet.
Yes, the Cowboys by 26.
Oh, well, maybe not a big win then because I already have. Well, I don't know. I think
The
13
wins,
plus
the
definitely.
wins were of course against Bunnies by 10 and Cowboys by 26. Only two wins.
Honestly, like they haven't had a big win
So they
against
they've
Dolphins
been
yet.
they've been
So
big. Well, no, they won by 6 in the first matchup, then they won by 8 in their second matchup against the Dolphins.
yeah, I don't know. I think 13 plus. I reckon Bronx will punch them now, but it very much could easily go the other way and become a
I
close
mean,
game.
Broncos Cowboys, everyone was expecting 1 to 12, and the next minute Broncos win by more than 13 plus. So
Mm.
I don't know. It's gonna be close. I'll be happy with 13 plus, but end of the day, whether my team's playing or not, I still want a close game of footy because I feel like a close game of footy
Is always the
is
best
better
type of
than
yeah.
definitely like being a Broncos fan. I'd rather a close us win by a close amount than us winning by 13 plus.
Mm.
To be honest, I think that's what every fan would want.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think 13 plus definitely on the table, but we'll find out, I guess.
Mm.
And then of course Warriors $1.46, Manly 2.71. This
Mm.
was actually a tough game to pick, but again, it's another sellout in New Zealand. Of
Yeah.
course, four sellouts in a row. I'm gonna back the Warriors for this one, and
Mm.
I'm gonna go the Wants to cover the line at -6.5 points.
Mm.
Sean Johnson to score 8 or more points, with him scoring a try, and
Mm.
Tom Trbojevic scoring a try at $21.25.
That actually sounds pretty good. Actually, I like
I
that.
know that's what I'm thinking of doing myself.
Um, I'll go. This is another tough one, but the Wires are too good at home, so I'm gonna go Wires 1 to 12.
Yeah, I think the ones definitely get it 1 to 12 there.
Mm.
Um, Parramatta Parramatta 2.34, Cowboys $1.61.
Mm.
Of course, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
Mm.
I'm gonna go Cowboys 13 plus. Valentine
Ooh.
Holmes. Yeah, I just like I said, the way Parra have been playing, the way both teams have been playing, it should be Cowboys 13 plus for sure.
Mm.
Even though the line is at 3.5 though, which
That
I feel like that's a bit low.
that's pretty good actually.
Hmm. So yeah, Cowboys 13 plus. Holmes to score 8 or more points, and Murray Taulagi anytime try score at $5.25.
Not bad, not bad. I will do Cowboys. I'm not. I'm gonna do 1 to 12. I'm getting a strange feeling, and apparently it's cloudy on the day, so there actually might be a chance
Hmm.
if it rains. If it does rain, I'm putting $20 on Eels because
Yeah, I
the
mean
Cowboys are
Cowboys.
the worst team to play in the rain. It is crazy.
Yeah, and of course, being up in Townsville, they're all used to the heat and everything.
Mm,
Um, I don't, I don't think they played a game away from Queensland because obviously Dolphins round one, Knights in Townsville. Oh, they've only played in. They played the Dragons in Sydney, but that was a 3 o'clock game.
mm,
So no, Cowboys have only played in humid conditions so far. So cold, cloudy, chance of rain. This could be a real test for the Cowboys if it
yeah.
does rain. But if it's dry, yeah, I'm sticking with Cowboys 13 plus for sure.
Mm.
Um, this is a big one. Bunnies at $3.40. Cronulla at $1.32 with the line at 9.5.
It's 9.5 now.
9.5 now.
Holy God.
Of course, Cronulla. I'll go Cronulla head to head. Kennedy and Ramian for anytime try score at $8.50. But 3.40, I feel like that's way too harsh. Yesterday it was like 270, 273 about that.
340. I didn't know it was that
Yeah,
high
so
now.
they've gone up and the line has gone up at 9.5. I do think the bunnies actually cover the line, to be honest. I think they cover.
I mean, it really depends the attitude at the moment. Like, if they want JD sacked, they will play shit. But
Mm,
I don't think they'll be like that. I think they'll want to play good. So, I don't know. Honestly, with this get for now, the way the bunnies are playing, I'm just gonna go in the games just with no expectations until they've sorted out their shit. Honestly, like literally in my tipping, I've gone Sharkies just because. Well, I'm three behind you, so I don't want to risk it. And also, like, it isn't looking good right now. So like
mm,
I want to go bunnies, but I almost want Sharkies to win so that JD definitely gets sacked, which is kind of crazy to say. Like
yeah.
I almost want like the Sharkies to win so JD gets sacked and we have Mel come in, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this game honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like all bunnies fans want JD gone at this point.
Mm,
100%. But yeah, I'm sticking with the Sharks.
yeah,
Because I feel
that's
like bunnies
completely
want them
fair.
gone.
Honestly, I mean, if you're betting on this game, do Sharks. Don't
Mm,
put it on the bunnies.
I definitely wouldn't.
I mean, with all like
Um,
the mess ups now, probably don't put any try scorers even. It's just the whole thing's a mess, honestly.
yeah, I mean, only try scorers I'd do would be for Cronulla. That's why I've gone with
Yeah,
Kennedy and Raymond.
because they're the same. Unlike bunnies, which is just axe Damon Cook, which is just insanity.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. Only one way to find out what happens on Saturday night.
Hmm.
But on Sunday, very close one actually. Tigers at $1.87, Dragons 1.97,
Mm.
with the line at half a point.
Mm.
So I'm gonna stick with the Tigers. I'm gonna go Tigers 1-12, Appy for 6+ points, and under 43.5. I'm not going any try scorers this game.
I'll go the same as you, honestly. Like, yeah, I mean, Dragons have been looking so insufferably inconsistent, while Tigers have just been playing good footy.
So yeah, they have actually. I haven't really expected this, to be honest.
Mm.
But yeah, I definitely got the Tigers to get up in this game. And then the
Mm.
final one is the Raiders $1.35, Titans $3.21. Um, yeah, definitely the Raiders. Their line's at 8.5. But I've gone the Raiders for 13 plus.
Mm.
Fogarty 8+ points with Timoko and Seb Chris as anytime try scorers at $11.25.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go Raiders 13 plus. I think this should be a pretty comfortable game for them, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, definitely they'll easily take care of things in this game for sure.
Mm.
Um, but I'm gonna go through my margins because I feel like there's actually some games that'll be close. But I've gone the Knights of course, but I'll go the Knights. Knights 1-12,
Mm.
Storm 1-12.
Mm.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Bronx 1-12,
Mm.
just because I think it's gonna be here and there.
Mm.
Warriors 1-12, Cowboys 13 plus, Sharks 13 plus, Tigers 1-12, and Raiders 13 plus. See, I think
Yeah.
there's three games that'll be 13 plus.
Well, yeah, for me, Knights 1 to 12, Storms 13 plus, Bronx 13 plus, Wires 1 to 12, Cowboys 1 to 12. Um, I have to back my boys. You can't go against your team. Like,
No,
your
that's
fans
oh
can't
yeah,
go
I've
against
done
their
that.
team.
I'm
Like,
going. I can't back against the team, no
as
matter
much as I
what.
want JD sacked, I'm still be rooting for the Bunnies. So Bunnies 1 to 12, Tigers 1 to 12, Raiders 13 plus.
Yeah, I mean that does sound pretty fair. That
Mm.
sounds pretty realistic.
Mm.
Apart from the bunnies one, if they do win, it
Yeah.
would be 1-12. I mean, it would be nice to see them get up, but win or lose, JD's definitely gonna go.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything else does seem pretty realistic, to be honest.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's week 6, round 6 of footy coming up in about 2 hours. So that's been everything that we've covered. And actually, one more thing that I was just looking at,
Mm.
the Josh Schuster, um, the Josh Schuster news. He's actually been granted immediate release by the Manly if he wants it.
Mm.
Um, I'm just seeing here that Josh Schuster has been granted immediate personal leave by Manly Seagulls, and he's likely played his last game for any grade with the club.
Mm.
So it sounds like Manly's going to get rid of him um, straight away.
Mm.
So, but what it does actually sound like is that he's played his last game for the club, but they're not going to release him until he signs with another club.
Yeah.
So, I said this the other day. I think the Bunnies are actually a good fit for him, to be honest. I think
I don't
because
know. I okay. Yeah.
he could
Explain your
play.
reason. Explain
He's
your
a
reason.
second rower,
Mm.
so but he's probably
I
odds are he's probably going to go to Para.
yeah.
Most players
But
go to Para. Like Lomax wants to go there.
mm,
So,
I mean,
but if he ends up on the Bulldogs, they don't even have a salary cap, to be honest.
mm,
But who knows where he's going to go? But yeah, it sounds like that Schuster has played his last game for Manly in any sort of club level,
mm,
and then he's on the hunt for a team immediately. So yeah, I mean that's been that. This ad podcast has gone on for 86 minutes, so it is somehow our longest one.
mm.
But that's been it for now. That's been it. Anything to add on?
No, I mean, this whole. I'll say one last thing. This whole money situation's been pretty fucked. So honestly, I got a feeling when we do this next week, we're gonna have some big news about that. I think it's gonna be a hectic week for them.
Yeah, I think next week a lot of talking's going to be all about the bunnies
Mm,
next week, win or lose.
mm,
Um, but I think there's going to be a lot of talking. Obviously, a lot about the bunnies, but a lot of talk coming from this game. Like like the Battle of Brisbane. Broncos maintaining rights.
mm,
Even the injury news. Like
mm.
you know, yeah, there's going to be a lot for next week, but definitely a lot on the bunnies. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a treat to see.
So that's been this episode, and because we're actually so late with this podcast, it's not really good. It's not going to be edited the best,
Yeah,
or
like the
being.
game's on in less than an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, just over 2 hours. That's right. It's back to 7:50,
Mm,
so just over 2 hours away. So this will just go straight up to YouTube. Of course, this one's going to go on Spotify. The footy. I'm actually looking forward to this week,
yeah.
starting things off in Newcastle.
Mm.
So we'll catch you next week. Hopefully, it won't be this late because I've had stuff. Yeah, enjoy the footy. See you next week.
See you next week.
Catch ya.